exciting to see so many people here on the first night of the Living British Cinema Festival. My name's Lucy Bolton and I am the artistic director of the festival. And I've always wanted to say that. It's my Sandra Hebron moment. And we're absolutely thrilled to be able to bring to you a preview of Fast Girls tonight. I have a few people to thank before I have a few words with the film's producer, Damien Jones, who's very kindly agreed to come along and introduce his film to us. So first of all, I'd like to thank Studio Canal for agreeing to let us have this preview. The film opens on Friday, so you can go and see it again and take your friends. But it's wonderful for us to be able to have this preview tonight. I'd also particularly like to thank Neil Batt and his colleagues at Studio Canal for making that happen. Also to the Genesis Cinema, Ali, thank you very much, and to Charlotte Linton, who's made this event possible for us. To the Living British Cinema team, in particular Michael Pears, who has helped liaise with the Genesis and enable this event to happen. Fast Girls, as I say, is opening in cinemas on Friday, so we're very lucky to have this preview. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Damien Jones. Damien is the producer of the film and co-writer of the film. And, no, I thought you co-wrote it with it, sorry, the producer of the film. And has basically produced some of the most high-profile British films of the last 15 years. Welcome to Sarajevo, The History Boys, Kidulthood, Adulthood, The Iron Lady. So it's an absolute pleasure to be able to welcome you here. So please join me in welcoming Damien.
Thank you very much.
So Damien's going to say a few words, but I'm going to ask a few questions to see if we can guide the discussion a little bit. Damien, this film has got a lot of attention about being related to the Olympics. Is it actually set about the run-up to the Olympics?
It was once upon a time. It's an idea I had a while ago that I took to Noel Clarke. I love the title and trying to throw a spotlight on what it took as an athlete to sort of be as good as you could be, and then every 4 years the world pays attention to you. So it was trying to throw a sort of light on the dedication and discipline of all that. And Noel embraced it. And originally it was about the Olympics. However, as you will discover, it's actually now set in a fictional World Championships 2011, and that was all due to rather boring legalese reasons with the Olympiad and sponsorship, and just unable to sort of come to agreement. And aesthetically, incredibly, we decided it was a smart thing to do too, but it was quite an interesting sort of journey when you're trying to make something that obviously, hopefully you'll agree, that they should embrace, given all the themes we touch on, that eventually we actually couldn't use the branding because of corporate sponsorship, etc.
So how did you go about getting sponsorship for the film and raising the funds for the film?
Well, it wouldn't have happened without the support of the UK Film Council, as it was then in script development terms, and then BFI, as they're called now, who came in and for production funding, and it was Studio Canal who have the UK rights, the UK distribution, who are also just felt, obviously the timing and just, the message of the film and these great looking cast and just, it was something that they frankly thought they could be both entertaining and they could make some money out of. Obviously, once the Olympics, we developed the movie originally before the Olympics was awarded here, so we actually ran out. The script wasn't good enough for a long time, and then the Olympics were awarded, and then we decided the only time this film could be released would be pre-games, i.e. now, and we basically said, okay, it's now or never. So we turned the script around last summer, and we shot this film November, December last year in the midst of winter. Hopefully you won't notice. We got very lucky with the weather, even though it was freezing cold.
Summer anyway.
But we turned it around remarkably quickly to hit these dates, because the thinking was, rightly or wrongly, was that post the Olympic Games, everyone will be frankly sick and tired of athletics and track and field, and we should get it out now, while hopefully, it's a great way to kick it all off.
And what about locations? Was it that we were obviously in the host borough here for the Olympics? Was it actually shot around the Olympic site or around this borough?
Does Lee Valley count? That was the the Lee Valley is where the GB team train, and the wonderful, there's an outdoor track there, but also amazing indoor facility there that we used, which you'll see in the middle sequence. It actually doubles as Barcelona in our film, but that's where we shot that. And then in Crystal Palace, in South London, which is the National Athletic Centre, we shot our sort of finale there, and then various sort of other parts of London.
So I mentioned that Noel Clarke had been involved in the writing of the project. Can you say a bit about how Noel got on board with this? You clearly worked with him before on kidulthood and adulthood.
Yeah, well, this is our third collaboration, and may it be just as successful and more so. Hopefully, we did kidulthood, and because of the success and the relationship through that, then Team for Adulthood, and I, for My Sins, suggested he directed that. So turned him into this monster that we now have. But he's wonderful. We work really well together, and I think he's a genuinely talented filmmaker with a unique voice in this country, and I think he's done remarkably well, and may it continue. And he indeed co-wrote this, and I think puts in a very different and one of his best performances for a while in this film.
And what about the casting? How did you go about making casting choices for these athletic performers?
Well, we need people who obviously could act first and foremost, but also look like they could be runners and would indeed have the time to train, and they were trained by proper Olympians, and admittedly only in a 6-7 week window. But we did the normal acting auditions, and then we did have to do, because everyone says they're fit, we did have to do a running audition, and it was remarkable how actual people who said they were not, they were fit, were actually they were sort of heavy-footed, if you like. So we actually had our Olympic sort of fitness trainer there with us for that audition, who was saying, I cannot train them in 7 weeks, no way, or that person will. So we did need to do that sort of physical audition as well.
And just thinking about the soundtrack from the poster, it looks like you've got a pretty current soundtrack to it. How did you go about choosing the kind of music that you wanted the film, the vibe that you wanted the film to have?
Obviously contemporary and hip, but also has to work with the drama, has to obviously cut well with the actual races. The key to this is hopefully that we keep your interest with our characters. An actual, running itself can be dull unless we shoot it interestingly and stylistically, and the music and the sound effects will help with that. And then it was just a question of finding so the right beat and the artists who were out there that hopefully young people and others today would embrace and want to see, and marry two worlds, because sometimes sports isn't regarded as very sort of cool, and I think that's a mistake personally, but it was great to see, from Noel to the music to just all the people involved in the film, that hopefully it's a celebration of Britishness, I think, as well as of sport and triumph and adversity and all that.
Just a couple more things. I was wondered if you'd always wanted to make a sports movie.
This one.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. This has been the only one to date, but as always, you get approached, and so there's a couple of new things that, are true stories of fascinating people who achieved amazing things that, I'd be so lucky to make, but we'll see.
Okay. And finally, you mentioned that real Olympians were involved in the training of the performers. Do you know what? How were they involved, and do you know what any of them have made of the film?
Our hardest critics have, or are, and were the real athletes, and most of the extras, i.e. the other racers in the film that our actors compete against, if you like, are real athletes, and they, one, loved it. Two, the main trainer was a woman called Jeanette Quatchy, who is our current 100-metre British star, who we're all should be rooting for these Olympic Games, who's actually from Stratford herself, and she was really keen to be involved because obviously it broke up the training, but was also really keen to she said, if you do a movie about us, you've got to do us proud. I don't want a bunch of actors looking like they don't really run, and so she trained them, brutally, but it's paid dividends, as I hope you'll see.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Damien. I think we'll let you go now and can't wait to get on with seeing the film. So please join me again in thanking Damien very much.
Thank
you. You need new spikes. I'm broke.
Good luck today, darling.
Don't waste a luck, Mum.
It's Happy September. You have as much right to be here as they do. On your marks. Head. I'm in the squad. Bloody right you are.
Can I scream now?
Yeah, go.
Looks like Lisa's got a rival. That would be good for her.
How do you think you'd handle the relay?
I'm not very good with teams.
Come and meet the girls. We're gonna beat the USA. I need silk, ladies. Give me silk.
She's joining us then, Tommy.
Yeah, we'll see.
So here we go.
Carl, team physio.
He's got that whole boy band look going on. Please.
What the hell was that? That was your fault. Yeah, of course it was my fault, because nothing touches the golden goal, does it?
I'm not risking my chance of a medal because of her.
She's an embarrassment to the team.
If you don't want me on the team, then fine. I'm done. I quit.
The World Championships are here in London.
When we're up against the USA, I'm gonna need you.
I told you, I'm not good with teams.
It is time to jump in.
You've got what it takes. You just got to start playing the game.
Get your ass back on that track.
You just talk about my ass.
If we sort this out,
No one could beat us.
she's the fastest. We need her.
You're faster than her.
Well, this is it, and it's make or break time for Great Britain.
Let's go out there and show them what we can do.
Let's bring it home, girls.
And we can do this.
Let the games begin.
Smash it. I did actually have a speech prepared, which you've all now ruined. I had it written on cards and everything.
Sweet.
USA and Great Britain are neck and neck.
Look good and run fast, girl. Not then.